Hi, everybody. It's Professor Ken again, and we're on the third segment of this video series to help you learn. Now we're going to do circles. I love circles, they're a lot of fun. So I'm going to go over here to the Jamboard and go to the next jam. And I want to tell you that the formula for a circle is we got to open our parentheses and say that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And of course, x and y stay as the variables, but h, k, and r are numbers, and we could change the values. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to Desmos, and we're going to type in that formula, and we're going to use the sliders to see how h, k, and r affect the circle graph. Okay, now I just want to show you a little Desmo trick. If I go like this with my fingers, or if I click over here, zoom in, zoom out, sometimes I can get lost. Like, look at this. I'm lost now. If I just click on home, it goes back to the default screen. So that's a little trick. And then when you're at the default screen, the home button goes away. So open parentheses, x minus h, close the parentheses. Now I'm going to do the caret, which is shift 6 squared. And then I'm going to hit the cursor button to get out of the squared. I'm going to say plus, open parentheses, y minus k, close the parentheses, caret squared. Get out of the exponent, and then hit equals r caret squared. And I'm going to make sliders for all of them. And lo and behold, there's my circle. So here's h. Now see how h is with the x? Let's see what h does. H makes the circle bounce left and right. And actually what we say is that h is the x coordinate of the center of the circle. So here's the center of the circle right here. It's not giving me the point value, or I'm not sure why. But anyway, because I'm in sliders. Later on it will. All right. And then k, watch this, you probably can predict. Okay, so since k is with the y, k makes the circle go up and down. So h makes it go left and right, k makes it go up and down. And we see here that the value of k is the y coordinate of the center of the circle. So here's the center of the circle. We see the y coordinate is -1, the x coordinate is 3. So this is the point 3, -1. Let's write it in there. 3, comma, -1. And notice that h is equal to 3, k is equal to -1. Okay, so now let's see how r impacts the graph. So as r gets bigger, so does our circle. Okay, let me go to the home. And if r gets smaller, so does our circle. And if r gets negative, it starts to get bigger again. But we don't need negatives, because when you square a negative number, it's positive. So what r stands for is the radius. So if the radius is 3, we see that we can go up 3 units, 1, 2, 3, to get to this point, which is the point 3,2. So let me graph that point, 3,2. And we can see that the distance from 3, -1 to 3,2 is 3. So the radius is 3. So this is, okay, so then what if I wanted to turn it off and get rid of my points, but graph that same circle again? So I see that I can copy this and then paste it here. And it's just call k is equal to 3. I'm sorry, h was equal to 3. K is equal to -1. And r is equal to 3. And there's my circle. What if we wanted a different circle? Well, we could paste this here. And we could change the value of h to, say, 5. Woo! We could change the value of k. Instead of negative, let's make it 6. It's way up there. And change the value of r. Let's make it 7. And if we want to see that, we could move our graph a little bit. Okay, notice that this is green here, so this is our green graph, this is blue, here's our blue graph. Okay, so now you know the basics of graphing circles. I'm going to put this in the Jamboard and we're going to vary it a little bit. So let me just copy that and put this in the Jamboard. And if I want to make it bigger, I go to these little things and that just, okay, so if I want to make it bigger, I'll put this in the corner and I'll take this and I'll pull it. So I will be doing that when you guys are not around. But anyway, so there's how we graph our circles. And how do we know circles? Because the slide before that talks about circles. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you a couple other things. Okay, suppose we only want part of this circle, maybe from this point here, where x is 0.7, down to this point. I'm sorry, where y is points. Let me go up so you can see it a little better. Suppose we wanted just from this point, we wanted this half circle. Okay, so we say to ourselves, well, what's the smallest x value? The smallest x value is 3. What's the biggest x value? That would be over here. Well, the biggest x value is about 5. So what we can say is that go over here to this and open our brace. Now the smallest x value we said was 3. It's not letting me put a point there. So we can say that 3 is less than x, which is less than 5. Close the brace. And look at that, we have a half circle. Now, suppose we wanted just the bottom half. Well, now we're restricting the up and downness. So we want the smallest y value to be 5, and we want the biggest y value to be 6. So for this graph, we'd open the brace and say that 5 is less than y. Less 5. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Is less than y, which is less than 6. That's what we want. We wanted the bottom half of the circle. So maybe, I think maybe what happens if we change this to a 4? We get more of it, but not enough. What happens if we change it to a 3? There we go. So in case we needed a half circle, doing the top or the bottom, we have to use y as the restrictor. Let me, whoo. I'm going to close this up. And if we needed to do the right half or the left half, we would use x as the restrictor. All right. I forgot to close my braces. Oh no, I did it on this one. All right. Whoops. We got 2 braces there. All right, there we go. So now, what I'm going to do is save this to our Jamboard. So this would be to parts of a circle. There it is. It's coming. Okay, now I'm going to show you another thing we could do with circles. It's so cool. All right. So now I have nothing, and I'm going to go to the home screen so we can start over. So I'm going to do my equation for a circle, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And I'm going to add my sliders for all. Okay, so I'm going to make a nice circle. Maybe I'll have it go right there, have h go down a little bit this way. Maybe there, and I like a big circle that takes up a good part of the screen. Okay, so our h value is -1. So I could just look, here's a little trick, -1. Our k value is -2, so I'll put a -2 here. And our r value is 3.8. So I'll put the 3.8 here. Now I'm going to shut down everything else. All right, so there's the circle. Now suppose we just wanted to shade the inside of it. Well, instead of equals, we could change this to less than. And look at that, it's shaded. Now suppose we wanted the outside to be solid, we would do less than or equal to, so we'll just type in an equal sign. And there it is. What if we wanted to do the outside? We would do greater than. And if we wanted to do the outside without the dashes, we would do greater than or equal to. So that's pretty cool stuff. So let's change this one to less than. And because usually we'd want to change the inside instead of the outside, and less than or equal to. So what I'm going to do now is put this into the Jamboard. And we'll call this shading a circle. That's the symbol for a circle. And I'll just do paste. And I'll make these bigger later on. Okay, so I'm so proud of you because now we've learned how to graph circles, graph parts of circles, and shade the circles using Desmos. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this graph and I'm going to ask you to play with the Desmos, and I want to make sure that you can graph your own circles, graph parts of circles by the restricting X and restricting Y, and then shade the circles. So graph circles, graph parts of circles, and shade circles. Go do that and then start the next video. Bye.